I want to start today's content by talking about 1A auditors. Surely you've seen some content from these folks that call themselves First Amendment auditors that go out in public and record everything that they can find in order to try and prove that they have a First Amendment right to do so. So they will record people going in and out of doctors' offices or going in and out of the store or walking down the sidewalk, eating lunch at an outdoor cafe, or like through the window of a business. They'll stand on the sidewalk and they'll record, and it is their legal right to do so. The people who they're recording, who then get confrontational with these 1A auditors, are absolutely in the wrong. I want to start the video by saying that you can't just walk up and get violent or rough with somebody because they're recording you in public. It's just not the way it works. And you can't walk up to somebody and say, you don't have my permission to record me in public. That's also not the way it works. But I have a problem with the 1A auditors themselves. And I've done a few videos about them, and a mutual of mine took issue with it on another social media site, and I want to talk about that. And it's just easier to do this in a video than to lay this all out in a written goddamn comment. Excuse me. My apologies. I'm dealing with a case of the hiccups this morning. Anyway, I want to talk about my mutual taking issue with these videos and talk about his take versus my take, if I could, please. So I posted a video on the Book of Faces here, and a mutual of mine, Kurt, reposted it and said, until people learn what public photography is and that we all have a right to do it, they don't make these folks attack them. They are exercising their rights. They do not provoke anybody by simply filming from a public sidewalk. They don't fuck with anybody, which is what I said in the video. And when they're attacked, damn right they can defend themselves. As I said in the video, they should not be attacked, none of them. And I've said it in every one of the videos I've done. The actual idiots are the folks that decide to act privilege and think that they can demand answers from auditors or demand privacy in public instead of just going on with their lives, jobs, whatever. This is a really bad take, in my opinion. And fair enough, we can disagree on things. I don't know why you didn't bring that bad take to me first and foremost. You decided to just post it here, but that's fine. We can have this conversation. Somebody in your comment section said, for the most part, I agree for the most part. I have seen a number of videos of groups of auditors just roaming sidewalks, though, looking for anybody filming. Filming government is one thing. Targeting a private citizen in public is different. Sometimes it's pure instigation. And Kurt replied, targeting ? I guess I don't see it as anything other than stress testing their and our First Amendment rights. One of my favorite auditors says it best. Rights are like muscles. If you don't exercise them, they will diminish. And here lately, they are diminishing. Okay. Totally understand what you're saying as far as stress testing the system. In my opinion, your take is a bad take because you're not stressed at, not you. When I say you in this instance, I'm talking about the 1A auditors, not you specifically, Kurt. But these 1A auditors, you, are not stress testing the system. And I understand the philosophy is, I'm going to record somebody at a restaurant sitting outside on a patio, and they're going to get pissed off, and it's going to provoke an incident, and the police are going to get called, and therein lies the test. Are the police going to protect my First Amendment rights? I understand the theory behind it. In my opinion, it's a bullshit theory. If you want to stress test the system, go record the people that would actually take your rights from you. Record the police, record the politicians, record the courthouses and the judges to the best of your legal ability. Walking up to somebody on a sidewalk and recording them isn't stress testing anything. It's just being an asshole. Now, somebody commented on my video and said, what are they going to do when they encounter a Second Amendment supporter? I'm pretty sure the Second Amendment auditor will beat the First Amendment auditor. And you replied, and rot in a cell, have fun. Not where you live. You live in Indiana. That's a stand your ground law state. If somebody feels threatened, they have a right to stand their ground. So if somebody walks up on somebody and I know where you're at, so I'm just kind of generally speaking. If somebody walks up on somebody in Evansville, Indiana, and that person feels threatened and stands their ground, chances are they're going to win that case. Not that I'm supporting that. I'm just saying that from a standpoint of where you stand from, maybe not that simple. In case you weren't aware, yes, Indiana is a stand your ground state. Now, I gave you this scenario over 12 hours ago, and you haven't replied to it yet. Allow me to retort. A few years back, I had a neighbor filming my backyard while my daughters sunbathed. It was his right to do so, as they were technically in public by Illinois law. Would you be cool with that happening while your daughter was laying out? Would you consider it a bad take to tell your neighbor that they were crossing a line, or would you stand shoulder to shoulder with your neighbor to defend his or her rights? I should have said his or her rights, as he videos your daughter in a bikini. I mean, can they? Yes. Should they? In many cases, no. You haven't replied to this comment yet, and that's fine, but I'm asking you in this video, would you be okay with that? Now, in Indiana, you can't film into somebody's backyard. I looked into it. In Illinois, you can. So if you lived in Illinois and you have a lovely young daughter, by the way, congratulations to your daughter on getting into the Navy, passing boot training, basic training, and going off and serving this country. Tell her thank you from my family, sincerely. Having said that, would you be okay with that? Or would you stand next to your neighbor and be like, First Amendment, man? Yeah, go ahead and film my daughter in that bikini. Somebody else left a comment here saying, manners and morals are an integral component of civilization and necessarily beyond the reach of legislation. You replied, so exercising your rights is bad manners, immoral? What the actual fuck? Well, let me ask you a question, Kurt. Let's say you and Jamie were out running errands in Evansville all day long. Because I know that that's a bigger city that people in that area go to. I'm just using it as an example. Let's say you guys are running errands in Evansville all day long and you decided to stop and have an early dinner, and you're sitting out. It's a beautiful day. You're sitting outside on a patio, and somebody came up to you with as most of these auditors are, masked with a camera on a stick, and just started filming you. You would sit there and go, First Amendment, baby. Or would you be slightly annoyed with the fact that somebody was doing that? I personally believe that you would be annoyed. And if you tell me that you wouldn't be annoyed and you would cheer on their First Amendment rights while they sat there and stuck a phone in your face while you were at an outdoor patio, I'm going to call you a liar. Because I think that you would be annoyed by it. I think most people would be annoyed by it. And it's not stress testing anything. It's just proving to be an asshole. And here's the problem. Most of these First Amendment auditors do this to provoke a response that's a bullshit response, so they can then take that footage, put it on social media, and make money off of it. And listen, I don't decry anybody or deprive anybody the ability to make money off their content. It's how I make a living. But that's really the content you want to make a living off of? By not going and filming the people who you should stress test, the police, the politicians, the judges, the people that can actually take your rights from you. But by just walking up on somebody eating in a restaurant, or walking up to somebody's business and sticking a camera in the window and filming, it's a bullshit move. So I started to do some research into what these First Amendment auditors are trying to do. 1A auditors exist primarily to test whether public officials and law enforcement uphold constitutional rights, specifically the right to film and record in public spaces. They aim to promote transparency, hold government employees accountable, and often monetize the resulting often confrontational videos on social media. Auditing involves entering public spaces, post office, police stations, city halls to see if officials respect the right to record, often expecting a confrontation to prove a point about potential government overreach. That's what I'm talking about. Go to post offices, go to police stations, go to city halls, go to a courthouse, go to wherever people who can actually take your rights from you are and record them. That would be stress testing the system, and something I would be wholeheartedly behind. Walking up to somebody having lunch at an outdoor cafe and sticking a camera in their face is just being an asshole. So I'm sorry, I'm going to vehemently disagree with you. I'd like to hear your take on if somebody recorded your daughter laying out in the backyard, or walked up on you while you were just trying to enjoy dinner with your wife and stuck a camera in your face, if you would agree with them, or if you would get slightly annoyed. I don't think the people reacting the way that they're reacting are in the right, but these people who claim to be First Amendment auditors and stick a camera in everybody's face, they're just fucking assholes.